As we have known that riba occurs and takes place primarily in loan and debt transaction, but it sometimes occurs and takes place in sale transactions as well. Some of such transactions is the Bayolina or buyback agreement, which is apparently a sale transaction, but in fact it is a Sudi Karza or usurious loan contract. In this presentation, we will explain what is Bayolina, what is buyback agreement, and how buyback agreement or Bayolina amounts to riba. Bayolina or buyback agreement is defined as to sell a commodity on cash to a person and then buy it back in the same session of contract on credit at a higher price on deferred payment basis. In Bayolina or buyback agreement, the person who is in need of money, he sells one of his commodities or something to another person from whom he wants to obtain loan. This transaction takes place on cash in the same session of contract, and then he buys the same thing from him in the same session of contract, and the payment is to be made after some time in future. So in this way, this is a buyback agreement. The example of buyback agreement is that a party who is in need of money, he sells a computer to B for 30,000 rupees on cash, and he obtains this amount of 30,000 rupees immediately in the session of contract. And then simultaneously, immediately, he buys the same computer back. He purchases it back from B party for 50,000 rupees on credit or on deferred payment basis. Now we observe that the party A has in fact obtained a loan of 30,000 rupees. This is not a sale. He wanted to obtain or get loan, and he obtained 30,000 rupees, and he will pay back 50,000 rupees to party B after a period of 1 year. So the difference between these two amounts is a riba, and this is called Bayolina or buyback. The reason is that he has purchased the same thing immediately in the same session of contract. The computer is irrelevant for B party because it has returned to A in the same session of contract. What is the position of Sharia on this transaction? Majority of the Muslim jurists is of the view that Bayolina is a fictitious sale transaction. This is not a real sale transaction. The party did not intend to sell. B party did not intend to buy it. This was a usurious loan contract. The purpose was to obtain a loan transaction with certain increase to be paid to B party. And it is prohibited because it contains the element of riba. Holy Prophet ﷺ has said that a time will come when the people will be engaged in riba under the pretext of a sale transaction. They will justify, legalize riba through sale transaction. It means that they will not be engaged in the direct riba transaction. Rather, they will be engaged or involved in a riba transaction through sale transaction. So it has been prohibited because it is a hila for obtaining a Sudi Karza or a usurious loan.